is part two. False prophets.
Oh boy, it's gonna get crazy.
It's somebody else that y'all not gonna like how I'm talking about. And before we start, I gotta say this. I'm sick of you Negroes. And I'm trying not to curse because it's Ramadan. But at the end of the day or whatever, there's a lot of sellouts in the black community. So when you hear that, oh, you shouldn't talk about him, you shouldn't talk about this one, you shouldn't talk about that one. No, we should talk about the sellouts because we need to know who these sellouts are because we need to ban these sellouts. We need to stop dealing with these sellouts. Period. Y'all don't even know who's selling y'all out. The same person that's smiling on your face every day, the same one that's shaking your hand, the same one that's patting you on your back, is twisted a knife in it, and you too blind and too dumb to even know it. But that's neither here or there. Go ahead, kid, take it over.
And who is he referring to? Good old JJ, Jesse Jackson. He has passed February 17, 2026, at the age of 84 years old. Reverend Jesse Jackson, born October 8th, 1941, died February. He was a prominent American civil rights leader, a Baptist minister, and a politician who served as a key figure in the struggle for equality, following in the footsteps of Dr. Martin Luther King. And he founded, and we'll speak about this, the Rainbow Push Coalition, ran for Democratic president nomination in 1984, for those who don't know, and 88, and was a major voice for the economic and social justice. And side note, as we know our history, he was also the second person to push for us being called with our nationality Afro-American. And I give you the floor, King Haas, to chew him up, eat him up, and throw him in the sky, as you please.
See, your heroes are failures. You know why? Because all they did was line their pockets up and just go ahead and set you up to the powers that be every single time. So let's get into this. Rest in peace, Steve Coakley.
Rest in peace.
Okay.
Steve Coakley.
Rest in peace, rest in power to Steve Coakley.
Now, get the people the brief synopsis of Steve Coakley before I play this footage.
Well, Steve Coakley was one of those. He was one of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He was definitely a real one. He was definitely for his people,
Mm-hmm.
and he is one who excuse me, who I would consider as being one of those people who had those leadership qualities.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He was a selfless man.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the one thing that you can see that is consistent with someone that is a leader and someone that is for their people. Selflessness.
Sacrifice everything. Sacrifice his whole career to
That's
tell
a
the
fact.
truth.
That's
Literally.
a fact.
Now, we're gonna get into this clip with Steve Coakley talking about Jesse Jackson, the night of the King assassination. And if you do your research, the night of the King's assassination, nobody could leave in and out of Memphis. They shut everything down. No buses, no planes, right? But somehow one person got out of Memphis. One person.
His name?
Hold on, we about to right now. Hold on.
He said, I went to see Y.T. Walker, who was SCLC's field director at that time. And when he told Y.T. Walker what I said,
That's Steve Coakley, y'all.
Y.T. Walker said, protect Coakley. Don't let nobody mess with him. And tell Coakley that if Jackson ever attacks him or harasses him about that analysis, just ask Jesse to tell Coakley how he got out of Memphis on the night of the assassination, since the planes, the boats, the trains, the buses, and the cars were all cut off.
And this is documented. FBI files, you can look it up. It's documented.
Hey, man. All I could say is the man wasn't called Messi for nothing.
Nothing. Hold on, let's continue.
When weeks ago. Dick said, well, you know what happened, don't you? The FBI called the airport and let one plane out. One plane that had one Negro man on it, who got away from the others saying he was sick. Jesse says, well, you know, when they had the investigation, they never talked to me. Nigga, you left. You wasn't there. And that's when Don...
Nigga said, nigga, you left. The fuck is you talking about? Why you even talking?
You wasn't there. You wasn't there. You went ahead and lied and told your own people that you was sick. And you went ahead and went to Chicago. And nobody knew you was in Chicago. So the next morning, while they still in Memphis trying to pick up the pieces of what happened to Dr. King, you in Chicago doing a news conference that went national throughout the whole country. And we're gonna get into it with that same bloody shirt from the night before. And we're gonna get into that part in a second. Hold on. Let Steve talk.
And that's when Don Rose says, and Jesse and I began to plan his resurrection. Then you're going to see Jesse at April 12th say, I'm ready for leadership now. And only 4 days after that, the FBI set up the plan to attack Ralph Abernathy and Andy Young and Coretta Scott King with no plan whatsoever to attack Jackson, who's far faster, whose future was far higher than those donkeys and those mules. That thoroughbred would have been the one to stop unless he was yours. Okay.
Let's break that down for me, Shot.
Break that down, brother.
Listen, the man didn't pull any punches. He gave you detailed information about how this man just slithered out of the way and then tried to make it appear as if he was on the scene. You know what I'm saying? And he was nowhere to be found.
And matter of fact, Kid, you break down what you just heard. What do you think after hearing that?
I don't know if I want to break something down, but I just want to ask a question to the viewers. What do y'all think? Because is it because he wanted to go in and act like he's now in part of leadership and be the next leader in town while he inserted himself somewhere that he wasn't? So I really want y'all to give me your assessment on this, because I want to see if we all have the same listening ears. So that's all I wanted to ask.
You see, when they go ahead and when they do these type of things, when they plot, when the powers that be, and we know who the powers that be are, plot assassinations,
right?
They already have in mind who they want to go ahead and run the situation and control the situation. Somebody that they can control.
Right. It's unfortunately, it's similar to a situation that we are dealing with right now.
Break it down.
Where they institute the chaos, and then they act like they have a solution, when this is all like manipulated, and it is intentional.
Yep.
It is very intentional with what they're looking to do. What the type of it's like you're doing something to get a certain type of response from people. You want to get people to kind of be in a certain mood or vibration. You know what I mean? And because when they're in that vibration, they're easier to manipulate and control. Bring in this soft ass solution, as if you Captain Save a nigga, and make it appear as if you got our best interest in mind.
Heart. Yeah.
When we know you don't.
We know you don't. If it smells like doo doo and it looks like doo doo and it feels like doo doo,
it ain't a birthday cake.
It's cock-a-doodle. It's cockadoodle, man. The greatest hindrance,
He
the
knows.
greatest hindrance to the
Trying to be
modern
funny.
black liberation is like like we make these leaders like they're untouchable prophets, and we freeze their radicalism, right? Like now it's not radical in a specific moment in time,
Right.
and like stripping away their complexity of any issues that they may have going on, to help us. That, and then they make it like it's palatable, to be put into some history books. So,
But
you
this,
guys got to remember, when we protest now, we have to apply to protest, right? We have to apply to protest in the police departments, in the government. So I want
listen,
you guys to like have a broad, use your constructive criticism to, figure out what's going on, and your damn common sense.
I definitely hear that part. You know what I'm saying? But our people are either falling over from exhaustion
Hmm.
or they got strong calf legs because we've been marching since day one. You know what I'm saying? So I do understand that, you know, but part of it is these people that are put into place, going all the way from city council, city assemblyman, senator, congressman, how representative. These people we have to really know, and they have to be from our community,
Hmm.
you know, because otherwise, and not to say, you know, I don't want to, I was about to just start blasting names out here, but
I was about, yo,
you know,
I was
I
about to say your name.
right.
But you said they got to be a part of our community, but what if they are? Are
What
they
if they
still
are and they
sellouts?
just a coon, right? You know what I'm saying?
A lot of
Because
raccoons out here
right, there's a lot of
nowadays.
raccoons out here.
A
You
lot
know
of
what I'm saying?
raccoons.
So we got to be prepared that if we happen to put someone that becomes a raccoon in the office, or is someone that is going to be our voice, they got clear they have a clear understanding on what we're not going to tolerate. You know what I'm saying?
Economic power.
And
Economic
and
power.
an opportunity for us to be able to start to uh, 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 make some headway,
Hmm.
not just as a consumer, but someone who is or community of people who is able to develop
Power
people.
players.
Right, we could be power players, we could be developers, we can be people who are who providing. You know what I'm saying? We want to be part of the infrastructure,
Hmm.
of things. So we got to start to become more cognizant and become more aware of what's necessary from us.
I concur. I concur. And this is not something where it's a one man show. This is a collective. Um, this is something that we have to come together collectively to
Right.
be on the necks of the person that we put into office locally within, our region, our county.
Mhm.
This is not about a Republican or Democrat. This is about your power, your
Right.
economic power, and the
Human
power that you
rights,
have
man.
as the people in your community. It's very important. We don't need to protest anymore. I do concur with that. We just don't.
Half the time,
We
those people
need
that's
to make
protesting
it
not real
completely legal.
protesters. They pay agitators anyway. So
Right, they're paid.
we need to. We don't need to be unless we don't need the protesters unless we go into city hall and they letting us in, and we gonna go ahead and get the demands that we need.
We need
Now,
the boycott.
hold on, Kay. I think you might need to. Oh no, we good. All right, now we good.
We need the boycott. What I mean by boycott is when uh, we had the Million Man March. That was our time to boycott. Boycott is effective. What if you research what boycott did? It took us out. No, we're not going to ride the back of the bus no more. You don't want us to ride the back of the bus no more? Nobody's going on the bus. That shut everything down. That shut the bus service down. It shut the manufacturers down because people weren't able to go to work, right? It it shut the whole place down. It shut the whole city down.
Because we used our economic power.
When negotiation happened, X, Y, and Z, we can negotiate.
Exactly, because we used our economic power. The thing is, now getting people back together on that same wavelength, because the mindset of the people are different. They don't have the same they don't feel the same pressure. Our people are comfortable now.
Mhm.
We're very comfortable, and that's half the problem right there, and it's like it's gonna take for some real things to happen to get us. We should be very uncomfortable, but unfortunately we're not. So it's gonna take something catastrophic, unfortunately, to get us in the back of a comfortability in order for us
Yeah,
to go ahead and get back to what you was talking about as far as like
we are
boycotting.
way too comfortable with the situation,
Hmm.
and everybody it's a crabs in the barrel type of mentality going on here.
Facts.
So there has to be a staunch
But
change going on.
but hold on, I want to play some more
We gotta
stuff.
be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
We gotta
And
get
we gotta
comfortable
be
being uncomfortable.
radical
Yes.
about it. During the boycott, people were walking on the streets with no shoes, barefooted. People were literally carpooling. Like when I say we had it together, we had it together. Stop being weak.
Hmm.
Okay? Stop worrying about this and that, because at the end of the day, there's a lot of shit happening right now as we speak.
Facts.
What the hell are you gonna do? Be comfortable with being uncomfortable and take care of thy neighbor.
Now I want to drop one more clip before we head out,
Mhm.
and this is from Hosea Williams. Now you heard names like Rob, like Andy Young and Rob Afternow, Ralph Abernathy. Those were the second and third that was in command of the SELC. So do your research on those names. But Hosea Williams was King's driver, and he also was a member of SELC, and he also now the stuff that we're playing for you guys, this isn't new stuff. This is stuff that I'm playing
This
from
is
like,
stuff that's been there. It's been
so the
in
information's been out about
public.
Jesse.
It's been in the public airways for decades. You know what
So
I'm saying? It's just that people didn't want to see it.
Went back to sleep. So now we have to wake up the sleeping beast. This is what this is all about. We
So-
have to remind y'all because we're slipping under the cracks with TikTok.
Facts.
Well, go ahead.
So we're gonna go ahead and play this from the Honorable Hosea Williams. Hold on one second.
We were discussing the Washington movement, Poor People Campaign in Washington.
He's talking about April 4th, y'all.
And that afternoon,
The day King died.
we're in the meeting, and someone said, Reverend Billy Kyles is outside, and he's upset. Dr. King said, oh my God, I forgot to tell you all. I promised his wife, who's supposed to be a great soul food cooker, we'd have our feet on her table at 5:30. Now it's a quarter.
Reverend Billy Cowles was also in on it as well. Reverend Billy Cowles was also involved in the assassination. Let's continue.
6, and we sit in the meeting. Dr. King said, everybody rush, rush, rush. And get ready in a hurry. Let's go. So
Now, before we continue, the part of the reason why they trying to hurry up and get them out of there, guys, is that they need to get them out of there before the sun went down and they couldn't see and get a clear shot. So that's why they had to get them out of there by a certain particular time. So that way they could get them on the balcony so they could have a clear shot to go ahead and unalive Dr. King. And also, tidbit side note,
Mhm.
Reverend Billy Cowles is the one that told them to go ahead and put his hotel room on the second floor, because originally Dr. King was on the first floor, but somebody called and asked for him to get the room moved to the second floor due to the fact of he wanted to be on the second floor, which he really didn't, but they needed to get a clear shot. Billy Cowles is the one that did that. Hold on.
I ran down and got to my room. My
Fair use.
key
Fair
was
use.
on my door for some strange reason. The limousine that had been loaned to us, I opened my door. I could touch the limousine. And finally I heard the driver tell Dr. King, I advise you get your top coat, because even though I have the car on, it's still chilly. And the last words he said in this world, okay, Jonesy, I'll get my top coat. And I heard this thing say, bow. And I honestly thought someone had thrown a firecracker into the air. And I looked around to rebuke whoever was that stupid. And I heard something say, Pookaloo, fell up above my head. And I looked up, and his leg was sticking through
sock and one type of shoe. And I knew that was him. I said, oh, by God, they got it. And then I had to run about.
Now, this is the man that saw the last. These are the last moments of Dr. King. These are the last moments of Dr. King. Yeah, I heard some other stories, but this is the man that was there that's telling you the story that really happened. Your man Jesse told you another different variation, but this is the real story.
50 feet down, back up, and I got to him. And Ralph was holding his head, and Andy was there. And a guy from Africa who'd been traveling with us as a newsman from Africa. We found out later on he was working for the CIA. No, the FBI, working for the FBI. And he'd taken a lot of pictures of Dr. King. And I grabbed him in and threw like and started choking him. Because the bullet hit Dr. King right here. And it went round and cut his medulla oblongata. And I didn't want people to remember Dr. King with having his face shut off. So the
Guy that was taking the pictures was worked for the FBI later on. We didn't know that. It was an FBI agent, right there.
ran and got a towel. Somehow or another they got to one more picture after I made him into that camera. And it shows Dr. King down with a towel on his face. But I'm going to tell you, I was an expert gunner in World War II. When I ran up on that balcony, and I looked from whence that bullet had to come, the distance of that bullet, and just could feel the wind blowing that day, I said, whoever shot that rifle was one of the best in the world. He shot one bullet. And I believe if Dr. King hadn't moved to go back and get his top coat, the bullet would have hit him between the eyes.
That's telling you that the person that killed Dr. King was a professional. It wasn't no random cracker from the street. It was a professional,
Right.
trained killer.
Right. So we gonna.
And but what happened? Andy and Ralph said we'll go in and take him over to the hospital. Hosea, you get all the staff together. 3 of us saw it, Dr. King, after he was shot. 3 SLC executive staff members. Andy, Abernathy, and Hosea Williams. Those are the 3 that saw that body. Now listen.
Not Jesse. Not Jesse. But now we get into the meat and potatoes, y'all.
And you didn't hear him say Jesse's name.
You didn't hear him say Jesse's name at all. Let's get to the meat and potatoes.
Somebody lying.
Somebody lying.
So I got in the yard and I was about to lose my cool because I was thinking if I could take some molecules out there and make me some guns and kill me some white folks. And one man said, now be cool. You're doing the same thing you promised me you'd never do. And I started crying, and then I heard Jesse Jackson say, he told me, Jesse, take our people on to the mountaintop. And that didn't bother me, even though I know Jesse got nowhere near him. And then Jesse said, I held his head in my hand while he died. And that didn't get to me. And then Jesse said, look at my shirt. And I looked around, sure enough, and Jesse Jackson's shirt was drenched in blood.
Now he established that all the stuff that Jesse was saying was lies. He established that. Now here's the coup de grace. Here's the coup de grace.
And I realized the only way Jesse could have gotten that blood was stoop down on that floor at the Lorraine Motel and rake that blood off that floor and put that blood on him. And I went crazy. I really tried to kill Jesse. They grabbed us and all that, but that hurt me so bad. The other thing was, when Abernathy came back, says no need of prayer, no need of...
You gotta be some type of sick individual to go ahead and take a dying man's blood and rub it all on your shirt.
To make it look like
we gotta.
you was there.
Right. Let that marinate. Let it sink in.
And this is the man that they worshiping as he did so much for our people. He did this, that, and the third. A Judas.
He definitely was that.
A Judas.
He definitely was that.
False prophets. Stop worshiping false prophets, man. Stop worshiping people that don't care about you, man. Who they've been milking the black community for too long, and we gotta put a stop to it.
And the bad thing about it is they look just like you.
They look just like you.
Right. And I want to know the viewers' point, the viewers' thought process of what you guys just heard. Yes.
But hold on.
We don't have to ever worry about that no more because there's no leaders.
But hold on, we about to end it off though. This not even. We about to end it off though. Hold on.
I know there's nothing. He is going. It's over with. He's going to glory. And we called the meeting, the staff meeting, and Jesse claimed to have been ill. And Abernathy told him, Jesse, go ahead to the room and relax. Jesse had to have run like hell that room into that airport because he got out of Memphis to Chicago. All us feeding, everybody was still in the motel. Cut the televisions on the next morning. That was Jesse Jackson in Chicago with that same bloody shirt on, telling that same lie. I've never respected Jesse since that moment. When they shot Dr. King, a black guy come running around that corner saying, he went that way. James Earl Ray no more killed Dr. King and I killed him. And everybody knew it. He was a Apache set up. And the guy said, went that way. I said, who went that way? He said, that man ran out that building and dropped the rifle on the sidewalk and jumped in a white Mustang, had a red Alabama tag and took off. Well, hell, I wasn't worried. That's no car in America look like a Mustang, but a Mustang. A white with red Alabama tag. Where's he going? The police have him like that. And I asked that rifle was left on that sidewalk. That was the rifle that James Earl Ray had purchased, but that was Dr. Bullet that killed Dr. King.
Happy Black History Month, y'all.
Happy Black History Month.
Happy Black History Month.
Real Black history.
Yes.
You know, your leader's a fraud.
We are addicted to the ghost of leader by obsessing over this perfection that don't exist of heroes from the 60s up until now, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's about it. We developed this like psychological dependency on these people to where we can't even think. And when we hear, we don't really hear. When we see, we don't see. We keep changing the optics of our lens to cater to all of this, what she call this post-traumatic slave freaking disorder, right? And we keep making them be these prophets when they're not.
And one more thing before we go, the Rainbow Coalition was Fred Hampton Sr.'s idea, and he stole that from Fred Hampton after Fred Hampton was massacred December 4th, 1969 by the Chicago Police Department. That was Fred Hampton's idea, and he never gave Fred Hampton the credit whatsoever. That's your fearless leader. He's been nothing but a chump. And I'm sorry, I don't know he speak on the dead, but I'm sorry. We don't need people like this in the community whatsoever. You got a lot of grassroots people that actually care for the community, actually do for the community, but we don't champion them. Those are the people we need to champion, the pure people, the people who actually care about what's going on in the community with the kids and the other obstacles that we have day to day. Stop worshiping these false prophets. These false prophets do not care about you.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to definitely have to do a segment and highlight those people who are doing some real ground roots.
Yes.
Activism and helping our children out, helping the people, the elderly, mentally ill. There are people out here. They're not highlighted the way we want to because we're so bent up on, the celebrity stuff and the gossip. But we're definitely going to come back to you guys to highlight some of that. Give these people some love because you know what? What's really being done is like hidden, is in the dark, right? So.
And we gonna bring it to light. On that note, any final thoughts, guys?
Nah, man. You know what I'm saying?
I still want to say
Watch your back. Watch your back out here in these streets.
My condolences to his family and everyone. Whatever he went through, his trials and tribulations, at the end of the day, we're not God. So let Allah judge him. Let Yahuwah judge him. And we are going to make sure that we continue to be our own leaders and activists in our community to make a change in our community. And economics is the way to go.
It's simple. Stop worshiping these false prophets. Let's do the work ourselves. We don't need these false prophets.
All right. And on that note, we out of here, y'all.
10 toes down.